Craig Abraham Barigye. I'm happy to be here and hope you guys find this interesting.
My name is Alexis.
My name is Lisa Kanyomozi Rabwoni.
My name is Shiimwe Andrew and I'm happy to be here.
My name is Marian Michelle.
My name is Rodney Wamara. Hope you have an amazing time.
Sweet. So, talk about sex. Yeah.
Sex?
Sex. Sexuality. Okay, the whole time.
Sex is for marriage. In my household, that's what they say. Sex is for marriage, right?
I think religious-wise, it obviously was something that was pure, and it's for, especially now, being a woman, it's for your husband. It's the gift you give him on the wedding day. Lord Father. Anyway, with my African household, my mother is a very reserved person. So for her, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to know. I don't have it. So I don't. And then my dad, so my dad was away, and then he came back when I was about 16 years, and that's when we had the conversation. So we get into the room, and he's like, because my dad's very open, and my dad's like me, we talk before, and he tells me, do you have a boyfriend? I tell him I had a boyfriend, and my silly stupid younger sister told my parents, and so I'm having, he's scared to say the word, because again I'm a 16-year-old, and are you like, Daddy, no. No. Then it's like, okay, let's have that conversation. So he had this conversation with me all the way to, I think I was 18, 19. His thoughts were very, use protection, I don't want children. I'm not going to tell you don't have sex till marriage, because I was born before their wedding, so really. I'm not going to tell you don't have sex before marriage, but have it when you're ready for the consequences, and when you're ready for yourself, like have it for yourself. And then he's like, okay, yeah, and that's it, bye. So we did have a conversation. Again, my parents are very liberal, so I think that's why me and my father and I talked about it. My mom is absolutely not. I think even like the menstruation, she was just like, here's a pad, bye.
Bro, I'm still trying to block out my talk from him. Like, I blocked it out. Like, anyway, see, my dad gave me a very fluid conversation when I was before I went to high school, but it was just like, protect yourself, what diseases,
because what's 13?
Yeah, I was going to high school, yes. And I remember it was a very easy conversation, and it was just like warning you, because that generation saw a lot in terms of HIV and the consequences. So and also in a way, I'll say my mother has talked to us about also diseases and being careful. But I feel like if we're really talking about like sex and protection, I always say I have like one aunt who was just like, yo, so are you on protection? What? But I'm saving myself for marriage. But I know what to do if I need to protect myself. We're equipped with knowledge. But I feel like we need to have these conversations more fluidly, because not a lot of people, some people learn about this in high school. We have the internet, but I feel like we need parents, or if it's too awkward for you, have a close aunt that's close to your kids, or godparents or whatnot. Actually try and talk to not just guys but girls. That conversation like, you're coming of age, you need to know these things about protecting yourself, consent, and just not getting pregnant until you're old enough. So because we need to have, and come to me in case you need advice about diseases if you're in a situation, because we need to have these conversations more. Yes,
I like what you said about having the conversations more open. So I'm the awkward big sister when my big sister, she has her parents will see this. My sister has a boyfriend, like, okay, how was the kiss? What is it? That's the type of annoying sister that I am. But we do have, because even with my younger brother, say they just turned 13, we have the consent conversation, because if someone is violated per se, worst case scenario, if they don't have the language to explain what happened, they cannot tell you. So I think it's then important. But also, we need to have conversations on sex away from penetration, but also things like birth control, and because STIs, what happens when you go with assault, what happens when you when I don't know, there's so many things that come with STIs when you finally, not that I am a virgin, not that I know, but there's so many things in this conversation that need to be talked about, especially with young people, because when you get into a situation, you need to be equipped with the knowledge, and Google
And
tells you
support.
things, but it tells you you're going to die as well.
I feel like I just want to, just one comment. I just want to say, if I have if you have children, or you're an uncle or any uncles and aunties with children, I feel like if you watch, one thing to take from this video before it gets awkward is, if you find it weird to talk to your children of sex, whether they're still early teens, whether they're getting to that stage, or even if they're in their 20s, but like, if it's too awkward for you to have that conversation, ask an auntie or an uncle who you know vibes with your kids well, to sit down and have these conversations, and to let them know if you're in any situation, if anything, come and talk to, at least just to have that, you know what I mean, because support is and education is important.
Okay, yeah, they should. But like, for example, I grew up in a household where I was just told boys are bad, boys are bad, boys are bad.
Weren't we all told that?
Then at 25, where's your husband?
Yes!
Like, I never really got the depth of like, why are boys bad? What do they do? Like, I was
You're pregnant, that's what
I
they
was
do.
like, that curious child of like, what are they stopping me from? You know? So doing this, doing that, and whatnot. Yeah, so I feel like maybe with this generation, they should elaborate more.
Why boys
than
are bad?
boys are bad, what they do and whatnot. Because I have friends who get into
Entanglements.
Yeah.
Entanglements.
Very, very bad entanglements, like really bad, and
Yes.
they really don't have knowledge about it. They literally are so confused, they are clueless and whatnot, because their parents didn't do that, or generally they also their friends don't know, because I mean,
You're the
also
same,
friends,
yes,
exactly,
there's
yeah.
no one you can go
so
to
I feel
about
like
this.
we should grow up not only telling like our siblings, but also, you know, like the young people around us, like, okay, not poking your noses and not minding
But
your
have
business,
more of
but
this as a
like,
general conversation as
Yeah.
young people,
Yeah.
yes,
Like
that's
our
very
parents
important.
do classes or something.
I
Like-
keep saying, I
Because
keep
generally,
saying.
me, I'm the first born in the family. When I was going to high school, my dad didn't tell me anything. It's just that coincidentally, we were passing through a neighborhood, and like, let's just go see this uncle. So we go see the uncle. He said, you're going smart, you're doing this. Okay, no. Talked about homosexuality, and at the end, I'm like, thank God, I don't know I was going to talk to this young man. So as I grew up,
I didn't good.
he literally say that. Cause he literally say that. So when I get high school, I don't know anything. Sex, this. I literally learn from my friends.
Yeah.
Like sex.
That's
do
not
this.
been the best because they're learning from the internet.
They also learn from me. So they're doing this. I go do more research. This, and this. And my parents have never talked to me about sex. Luckily, I don't do assault women, do those things.
Luckily. So you're an exception. We clap for you.
You've learnt along the way.
You never know what can
Well, I feel
happen
like some people
along the way.
actually don't know
like for
boundaries,
my,
and I think
for my younger brother, he says some. I want to expose him. He says certain things that like.
We already know. So you're
Yeah, like I want to expose what he says. Like, he says certain things like now. Even me, I felt stuck because it's a bit of an awkward conversation for me. We're not close like that.
I have always been, I've tried to be very fluid and like very open with like, let's say younger friends or like relatives, like especially girls, about talking about these things, because
you have to
you
put
need
it
to,
out
you see,
yes.
in my case, when my brother was old enough, she's still in primary,
Yes.
I was in boarding school. So you can't only like
Yeah,
one
yeah.
school, 2
That
months.
makes
sense.
It was only when we moved to Eritrea, where we're in the same high school, you come and ask me this, and this, that. But then still I would fail to talk to him. Then when we came back to Uganda, they took him to Taiba, and I went to Body Life. Still is in body, now I'm in day school. When I finish high school, I go to China. So it's just that now it's during this COVID time where I
The
felt
way
like
you've taken
I've tried, but you know, still.
the work. Do the work. Don't be tired.
No.
Continue.
The way a young boy perceives women is different. It's very, very, very different. Because I look back and I'm like, oh my god, did I actually say that? Did I actually look at them like that? Did I do that?
Yes.
It's all brought up in the society that we're in. You go to a
Yeah.
family occasion, you see women being
Yes.
treated different,
Yes.
things this,
Yeah.
things that. Let me give an example. I went to a family occasion And usually in our family, once we finish eating, we all clean up.
Yes.
We all clean up and everything. So recently there was, I'm going to create a nice scenario so that I don't
Yes.
video leaks.
In case it
Leaks when it leaks. There's an auntie. She's, I don't know if I tried to join her first. She's a Uganda.
Yes.
So she comes, we're all chilling. We all know that eventually we're going to go back up and clear up.
Yes.
So she just calls the girls. So I'm like, no, why is she calling the girls only? So I dismiss it. Us, we say, keep on drinking. So I go to the washroom. And I find the girls in the kitchen all depressed, washing dishes. Like, why you guys washing dishes alone? I'm like, auntie has told us that we have to wash dishes. How can you just be sitting there? How can you just be sitting there? Where you get dishes here? So like, excuse me.
Yeah. No,
We're in 2020. How do you?
But a lot of the older generation doesn't.
No.
In 2020.
We're in 2020.
2020.
She literally told me I'm going to talk to your dad. My dad. Do you know my? I mean, and my dad have a close relationship. So my dad comes and talks to me. No, sometimes you have to handle the way you talk to these women. I know you have different views because he knows my views. So I'm like, but dad, it's not how we do this here. Like, you know what, some people are triggered because the lady that I was talking to was his older brother's wife. So that's hierarchy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like me, I straight up told him, it happens again,
I'm going to.
I'm going to talk to her because we're here for a good time. We're not here to suffer.
Let everyone walk equally.
We're here to
Yes.
suffer. But yeah,
Yeah, but I get
coming
what
back to
you mean.
sexuality. You see, if me and my dad are close. But when I go out with them, I'm going to Governor, I'm going to this place. But when it comes to sexuality, it's the thing with African parents. They just can't say that word.
It's
Sex.
such, yeah.
Come on.
It's such a taboo thing for them.
It's just not said as a whole because I was brought up by a single mother. She never
They had no sex.
uttered anything about sex with me, never. And so that means that now the responsibility shifted to myself to sort of find out what exactly
Educate
this is.
yourself.
And I feel like as this country as a whole, I think even the continent,
It's a
no
African
one
thing.
has a clearly defined role and
Yes.
who is supposed to introduce children to the topic of sex. Some people are saying it should be the parents, some are saying it should be the teachers,
And then there's
and
this-
the arguments for
Funny
both.
is they have sex before marriage more than us.
there's
I don't know why they're so scared.
And then there's also the idea that when you teach children about sex, it means that they're going to now go and have sex. When the thing is, you're just informing someone because you know people are going to have sex, whether you like it or not.
Yeah,
Talk about
the harshness that they're having it.
But when it comes from an informed place, I think it better prepares people. So now you come from a curious mind. You know I was using this example yesterday, but I'll use it again today. You know the stove is hot. So when you're going to touch the stove, you're going to go with a formed, like, am I ready? Have I got cloth? Have I got gloves? You know, let me handle it. But if you don't know the stove is hot, you just go and put your hand there and then get burned.
I think what they think is, let's not tell them about the stove.
Let's say
They'll learn by
Also,
themselves.
I want to
which
say
is
another
wrong.
thing we need to put on schools is the education system again is failing us, and it's
Again,
I'm going to say
definitely.
all systems, international and local, because
yeah.
honestly, if you talk about sex education, in school you're taught where babies come from, some forms of birth control, and that's it.
But that's
We need to be addressing a lot of things like different types of sexualities. We need to be talking about consent, what to do in forms of what to do if you're sexually assaulted, what is sexual assault, talking to people of the opposite gender with respect or with what I mean,
being
because
mindful
we
of
actually generally don't know it, and it's
pronouns.
part of the problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
People are just not informed, and they can't. You
We
cannot
need to be
expect
better
someone
informed.
to make a good decision if they do not have.
Even those informed, like, let me say today I go home and talk to my sister about it. Yeah? The time we spend talking to them is not enough.
It needs to be
Because
realistic.
it has to be. Because now I'm going to leave my sister and she's going to go back on TikTok. She's going to go back on YouTube. And these days the things on the internet are a bit.
Look at her sounding like
I was on YouTube and I was scrolling through and I saw teen gives birth at 12 years. And I was like, what? Like, what? They just said 12 years. My sister is going to also come, scroll, and see that, it's okay to give birth at 12 years.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like this is supposed to be a repetitive anything. Like we're supposed to be
Have candid
And
conversations.
that's why
them.
it's
'Cause
important. Like she says, it's important for it to. It's because as much as I have the conversation today, she's going to go to school and they're not having the conversation.
Just teaching you where babies come from.
And
Like
they're not having the conversation. She's going to go to our aunties and uncles and tradition or whatever, and they're not having the conversation. So it's important for, and I like what you said around our parents need to go to school. I keep telling my parents, I don't think you guys plan for children. Like you just fell in fwa. Like okay, we are married. Fwa. Next step is children. Fwa. Like I feel like with our generation, it's a whole process because now you're thinking, okay, if I'm having a husband, if you're a heterosexual person or a woman, or if I'm having a partner, what are the qualities I want?
What we unconsciously we choose unconsciously do is that you're in a household where you see your mother, like as a man, you see your mother doing everything. Even though you say that you don't want a submissive wife or what, you want an equal partner, somehow you're used to this scene of seeing. Unlearning is not. You have to.
I don't care.
No, you can say unlearn. You can say unlearn, but how?
No, they're ingrained. They're ingrained. I'll give you an example.
I've grown up in a very mixed household. Like I'll say, my father taught me how to cook, not my mother conventionally.
No.
You know what I
Okay,
mean?
like no for me.
No, when you live on your own, you go
It
to
happens.
you need these skills.
No, it happens
Man,
because.
male or female.
Can I just give you an example? Like for example, at home we have a personal chef who does the cooking.
Yeah.
He could no. Okay, that's not the important
That's not the
part.
point.
That's not the point. He got COVID. He contracted COVID, so he could not come.
Yes.
So yeah, now it became my responsibility to cook.
Yes.
I'm the eldest, but I have a little sister who is 17.
Yes.
I did the cooking because I'm older and it's my thing. I like cooking.
Yes.
My mom, I remember later on, I'm going to say it, she was like, how can Craig be doing the cooking when you're there?
But
So,
I think this is a whole
and my
other
question was like,
conversation.
it's not like I am,
Gender roles.
gender
are
roles,
being
yes,
ingrained.
Yes.
but then also the gender roles are assigned according to your
Yes,
your sexuality.
uh-huh.
So now because I am a man, I'm not expected to cook
Yeah,
when
but
there
then-
is a lady in the house.
Yeah, but then if you say I'm not going to unlearn, if you say I'm not going to unlearn, if you say if it's difficult, and obviously if it's difficult, you're going to struggle to unlearn.
No, where's the opportunity to unlearn? You go to university, you go to work, and now next thing your parents are
Unlearning
pressuring
is
you.
Can't teach an old dog.
Yes,
the
but you're
tricks.
not an old dog. You're in the new generation. You understand?
No, but the fundamental years of learning, that's the reason why you study for a certain part of your life and you work for the rest.
Okay, now you know
because
how to
there's a
You know how
point
to
where
cook,
it's
right?
ingrained.
You know how to cook.
Yes, we
you don't
know.
mind doing the dishes.
Yes.
So when you have I'm going to assume you're all heterosexual men. Correct me. Yes. No, by the way, I don't want to assume.
But let's not out people if they
Oh,
don't want
sorry,
to.
I'm sorry.
Let's not out people if they don't want to. Yes.
So I'm going to assume that you'll be married to women. Yes. And in that regard, when you have a wife and you live in a home together, then you will go and wash the dishes without her having to tell you, or you will go and cook without her having to tell you, because it's just you got home before the other person, right? Or it's more convenient for you, not because but then my dad didn't do it, or my uncles didn't do it, or my not specifically your issue, your family. Or my mom thought I shouldn't do it. I'm not going to do it now because because society says so. That means for if you choose to have children, they have another depiction of what gender roles are.
I feel like
you grow up, you don't learn like that.
for me, I think
You basically pick up your parents' habits, the way they walk, sometimes the way they do everything.
Or you could not, or you could recognize and decide you don't want to.
You don't want to do that. Yeah,
You don't want to be like
A
that.
handful of people can recognize those things. Just some people just carry on with life.
Yeah.
I'm trying to address the whole issue.
But I feel like in all the way, you're just going to have to deal with it. Because the situation here, I'm not sure if I'll come out and be employed. She may go and be maybe get a better job or something. Then,
And I don't cook.
you know.
If we are married and I
married
say,
and you want to
I
the
don't
money, you want to take my kids to school,
don't clean.
just don't have time for yourself, and you know.
it's not about humbling yourself. Me that norm. Okay, I guess
They're
we're
going to have
talking to
to learn,
very
yeah.
old school minded
Exactly.
guys. But there'll be situations, for example, say we're married, I'm the one working, I'm the one bringing the bread home. and you are maybe not working or you're not able,
or you have more flexible hours.
So you're more flexible. So there's nothing wrong with you picking kids from school, checking homework, cooking dinner if we cannot have a housekeeper.
When my hours are all the way to 10
it's
p.m.
the
or I
norm,
head
though.
the department and I have to work late hours. So you got home at 4 p.m. You're going to sit and wait till I come at 10 and then I come do my job.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. Let's make it a normal scenario. You both go to home at the same time. Similar hours.
If I cook yesterday,
then we have to split the work.
You figure it out.
If we can't afford a housekeeper, we will split the work.
But I feel like in society as general, it's ingrained that house duties are, obligated to in a heterosexual relationship.
But I feel like this generation is a bit more informed than other one. We shouldn't.
Yeah, no, but they are still picking
up.
It's still there.
The old school thing is there and it's there heavy. And you think, okay, maybe the privileged society. Because again, I'm going to say we're all pretty privileged. The schools we've gone to, we've been in affluent. We're okay. You will still sit down and have a conversation with a guy in our type of society, and he'll tell you, I expect you to too.
I want a nurturing, warm-hearted woman. That's me. I want a nurturing one. If you know that's not you, go.
You may reject him, but there'll be another woman.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's not my portion.
But then you fail to address the issue when that happens.
If you have a type, it's okay to have a type and know what you want. What?
Definitely. Definitely.
Because when you're saying sexuality, are we talking about sex itself or sexuality?
Forms of gender.
Do you think someone just woke up and decided today I'm going to be gay and I'm going to?
It's a human construct.
I don't know.
No. You think homosexuality is a human construct?
It's not.
It's a human construct.
It's not.
Okay.
I think it is. I honestly think
It's a human
it is.
construct.
I feel like we are.
It's a human construct that we have to deal with.
Okay, I feel like we're all born straight. Really? And as we grow, we keep on learning things like about ourselves and generally from what we're seeing.
Okay,
and
yes.
then we're like, yeah. Okay.
I am not a homosexual, but I believe that some people may be born attracted to their same gender, or it may come along in life.
Yes.
And I want to refer you after this interview. After this, no, not to read even. Let me make it fun. There is a documentary on Netflix called Sex Explained. It's 5 episodes, but you can watch the first 2. But honestly, they even say no one is 100% straight.
Yeah.
Except
No.
You could be add to her conversation.
No, but anyway, whatever. Whether you're half into women, half not, whether you're just into women, it's fine. But the thing is, let's accept that other people have different preferences
Sexuality is
and
an
respect
experience.
that. If you don't agree with it, what's the point of you respect? No, I'm not attacking. I'm just saying.
Because I've had stories of people who said they were straight, and then later on going to an encounter that, for example, was gay, and they're like, oh,
For example,
maybe I go both ways after all.
Yeah, and that's okay.
It's an experience. It's something that you cannot definitively say that someone is not gay, is not straight. I feel like it's something that happens as you grow. It's like how you have a preference of soda. We have all chosen different types of sodas. It's a preference.
I want to add
you understand? It's not something that's.
So you think it's up
to what she said,
okay.
and also what I want to respond to.
Yes.
The both of you. And then also respond to as I have. So I feel gender is a gender specifically when it goes to male and female is a human construct.
Biologically speaking, no.
No, in the sense of how we perform it. In
terms of society, I feel like how society defines gender roles is a social construct that needs to just be
That's what I'm trying to say. When you say you're a woman, there's certain ways you're supposed to now perform yourself. Do your hair, do your nails. Okay, I'm being very hypocritical because I'm very feminine aligned, but yeah. So when you say you're a woman, there's a way you're supposed to put yourself up and show up in society, right? When you say you're a man, there's a way you're supposed to show up. There's this term that's the best example, metrosexual, yeah? I don't know where it came from, I don't know who made it, but when a man takes care of himself, like looks
Gets a
good,
pedicure.
dresses up, takes a pedicure, does his hair. Metrosexual. So he's not homosexual, but then he's a man who takes care of himself. Like, it's just a man who takes care of himself.
You're supposed to scrub your feet, walk on them, like at least once a month, male or female.
Exactly. So
Yes.
so, but because that part of gender is performative, that's when we start finding terms to place it. I don't think we are straight from birth. That's a lie. I feel like that's a very big lie, and it's important to look at the society we have, and that's why sometimes when people are being homophobic, I'm just like, okay, so who told you you're straight? Like, who said that and said you are a man, therefore you like women, or you are a woman, therefore you like men? We are, or if we live in a very homosexual society, especially in Uganda, and I like how she stopped me from asking people if they identify as heterosexual, because but then there's the cameras and someone can be tracked down. You understand? Like, that's how bad it is.
And if you're not ready to openly talk about it, even if it's not
something by force. So why would someone who lives in such a hateful society wake up and say, you know what, I want hate, I want the world to hate in my life on a daily basis? It's fun times. You know what, I want to do this. Like, I just want to be killed for fun. You get
But it comes down to
the socialization we're in is a very heteronormative society. So from the books I read from the beginning, Cinderella, her Prince Charming, Shrek, like, you get, like,
you guys sleeping and you come and kiss me and I wake up. That's not real song.
Anyway, but
Sleeping Beauty, bro.
so our
That was a bad
society
word.
is very heteronormative. So at the end of the day, all you see, your parents are, for those who had two parents, your parents are man, woman, right? You're ideally supposed, if you're a man, you're supposed to be with a woman. You're told from a very young age. I know, I hate people who have babies and they're like, oh my god, this is his little girlfriend. How'd you know?
Yeah, so that's true.
The movies we watch, the love interests. Okay, it's only now that people are scripting and being inclusive.
Very recently.
But we've always watched movies where there's a man who falls in love with a chick, or a chick who can't sleep in the middle of the night because the man hasn't texted her back, and that is the type of society we've grown into. So for someone from a very early age to say, I don't think this gay chick thing is meant for sure.
I feel like I just want to understand, if you do
mainstream.
not understand homosexuality or you feel weird about it, I'm just going to say, you in this life, just respect people have different preferences in terms of if I want to date a female or if I want to date a male or both, or I'm attracted to females. Respect that and don't put me down because you and I have different preferences.
If you want your man, like your man. That's okay.
Exactly. Like, instead of waking up and going to a bar and you see two guys on a date looking chummy and you being your toxic masculine self are disturbed and want to make noise, mind your business.
Drink your drink or
and
go
go
home.
to your wife. Like, honestly,
my take on this whole topic is, I have no problem with it.
That's how the.
No,
Let me finish.
One second, just one second.
I am happy that society is
I am not
inclusive.
racist.
Yes.
I'm actually in Germany is actually, so I studied in Germany and it's an inclusive society. But like, a question that keeps coming to my head is, how inclusive are we going to be? Because now I read a few, like 2 weeks ago, pedophiles also want rights. Because they have their own sexual feelings. Like,
I want to add this.
You are entitled to date and do and whatever you want with whichever human being you want, because bestiality is also a thing.
Completely.
I feel like if somebody's under 18, no, don't be weird, man. Don't be weird. Don't be weird.
Sexuality refers to what your preference is in regards to a person.
You
understand? No. Now, when you start going into an issue of kids and age groups,
you want to date a child whose brain is not fully formed,
and that's why.
That.
And when she said we're all born straight, when she said we're all born straight, I said you cannot say you're born straight because when you're young you do not have the capability to perceive what you like and what you don't like. So it is therefore wrong. Let me just say this. My closing point is I watched there's a documentary series and there are these two. It's a lesbian couple, right? And they have another child, and they've decided to raise that child without a gender.
Yeah.
They're still not going to refer to as he or she. Will let the person decide when they're older what they want to identify.
So what clothes they're going by the male section?
No.
Why is that children?
Biologically speaking, address your kids with their just biologically. That's my opinion. But honestly, don't raise them with these he/she social gender roles. But biologically speaking,
and then it's just address his clothing. What happened?
No, how does that affect?
Understand more? Like okay.
Let me ask you. Like
why?
Today,
okay, guys, I think she's asking.
These kids, like these days, are told that there are more than two genders. It's okay to do this. It's okay to do that. Now, let me say, before I went to school, I was, I knew, I like guys, or, like in that.
Yes.
So I reached school, and now I'm being told, it's okay to like girls too. It's okay to do this. Do you think that's right?
Yes.
It is?
Yes.
You should have the full picture.
No, but I feel like you should have the full.
You don't change your mind because I feel.
I think you are attracted to what you are attracted to.
Craig had said sexuality is an experience. You understand? And I feel like when we heteronormatize, that's not a word, but when we do that, we block people's thinking to ever explore their sexuality. You can be told that it's okay for you to like women, you understand, and you explore that, and you get there like
this is not for me,
and you're straight, and what has happened? You died.
It's good to make you. It's good to make it from an informed point of view.
I want to speak on one thing. I feel like we think this is a very. Is it okay for us to learn this? We think it's a very westernized concept. Yeah, and I think that's what we talk about. But it's important for us to take time to learn our African culture before we're colonized, before we came and just did a big mess. There were so many African communities that are allowed is such a bad word, that had gay or homosexual partners even before Western people came in.
Yes.
There's a speech by Chimamanda, I keep forgetting the tribe or clan, but they were men in, I think, the Igbo culture, and they would get married. So, and these men would get married and have a relationship and live together. I was reading about Ghana, how women who were affluent were allowed to marry women, have sexual activities with women, and then women could get like men to come and give us sperm, and these children would be for the richer woman. You get in Uganda here, like you're going to attack me. In Uganda, I'm not going to say that the clan. I was reading a book by Jennifer Makumbi. So Jennifer Makumbi, yes, Chintu. And she was speaking about how in her culture, in the book, gay men were not, there's nothing wrong with gay men. Like, men could have sex with men, and the statement that stood out for me was, once you have sex with a man and you enjoy that, you'll never go back to a woman. Yeah, so it has been in our cultures for a long period of time, but we went and adopted white religion, and we had white people tell us this and this and this. You had like this and this, like man, woman, end of story. If you
white people also created debt. You see, there are a lot of things we need to unlearn here.
Yeah, but it's important for us, I feel, to take the time to learn from a very unbiased perspective. There's a book by, I will share it privately in our group chat. There's a book by Sylvia Tamale where she tries to, there's one, African Sexualities, and then the second one, she tries to go back and forth on different debates against homosexuality being an African concept. You get, it's not a concept, being African. and I think it's important for us to take time to do that and unlearn. Like, the same way we're unlearning different things and saying, white people brought that to us, let's also take our time to unlearn. It's uncomfortable, yes, I won't lie. When I started exploring, I was like, oh my God, God is going to kill me. I was going to heaven. I am finished. But nonetheless, I don't like it when we then become Because then it's easy, when you're ignorant, it's easy for you to be hateful and make other people uncomfortable. So then you tell someone, I don't think your sexuality is normal. I don't think you have normal.
But the main takeaway I really want to push forward to anyone watching this, no matter your age, and because it's a big problem in this society, it is okay if homosexuals respect what people are attracted to. If I'm attracted to a girl and you think it's weird because you as a woman are only attracted to men and that's your business and that's my business. I'm attracted to men and women. Just respect it. If you do not understand it, respect it.
For example,
and don't harass people for their sexual preferences or make it a law.
Rodney, for example, right? Like how, for example, back then women weren't allowed to wear trousers.
Yeah.
Men could not wear
school uniforms. A lot of girls are not allowed to wear trousers as uniform. Guys,
putting on this necklace 50 years ago would have been an abomination.
Yeah.
Putting on rings, having my nails done. You understand? There's certain things that society had given certain gender roles. Like men can only wear this, do this. Women can only wear this and do this.
But you know when it
was sexualized.
I want to speak both parents.
No, I want to speak on that issue. 1 second.
It's a decision between both parents to raise their children this way.
I want to answer that so bad.
Because you've come together, you've married, you've produced a child. Now you're the one who decides.
Okay.
If I don't want to confuse my child between he or she, I can.
Are you willing to look to that confusion later?
Okay,
if it comes out later, that might be okay.
Yes.
Me, I'll raise him. If he's a he, I'll raise him as a he. But if it's a she, I'll raise him as a she. If he comes out later in life, he's my child. I want what?
Yes. Yes, I agree with that.
On that note, as Ugandans, as Africans, as black people, should we be accepting other sexuality in our communities or no?
That's
very much.
So. I think we both said yes.
Very much.
If anyone has an argument, please.
Don't talk about pedophiles. That's not a sexual orientation. That's not a sexual orientation.
What determines sexual orientation?
We defined it. Why do we say that you're allowed to drink alcohol at a certain age?
Exactly.
Why aren't you giving your breastfeeding your baby? Yes. Why? Because you are mentally able to make active decisions. You cannot say no. Consent. Has the child allowed?
Let me respond to you.
Sorry, let me. I don't think you finished this.
You said anything.
No, you answered the response to the pedophile question.
No,
I'm adding to it, then you respond.
Yes.
So, like, you guys are fighting for, we are all fighting for, like, they call it freedom, right? Everyone should be free. So once you put constraints on how people should be free, like say maybe it should be LGBTQ, what if me, I want?
Protect the kids, man. Protect the kids.
Okay, then it comes back. You know, like how we have a constitution, right? They should be defining parameters for anything.
So we can't be free.
Now, if we're saying sex is supposed to be by definition between two consenting adults. If you're saying you want to have sex with a child, is the child a consenting adult?
I feel like so
no. Are they? You're saying you're attracted to the child. Are they?
Okay.
So therefore. And you say, how can you say no? The constitution does not say man and woman. Between consenting adults. Which clause?
Our constitution. But
No.
Okay.
Which clause? Of our constitution says no. Please cite me the clause in the. Please cite me the clause. I remember even when back, I think it was 2017, when the parliament was trying to pass that. They said they couldn't pass it because it lacked quorum. Like what? As no. Yeah, they said aid. No, of course you once you do not understand something, you will, with all your ability, try to find justification. To explain it. So you cannot say.
If we had passed
let's listen.
So wait, do you agree with the bill?
Are we talking about the homosexual?
Do you agree with the bill?
That says women can't wear mini skirts. Are you really going to
Do you agree with the bill, Rodney?
That you agree with the bill?
Rodney, do you agree with the bill?
Mini skirts?
So then why? So then why are you citing it? I mean, I'm sorry,
I want
but
to add to Craig.
Continue.
I want to add to Craig's statement. At the end of the day, what we're asking of being inclusive of sexuality is allow people to explore, in a non-harmful way. Because then, should we also add rapists on the on the sexuality?
And allow people to be informed.
You
Like that's what
Allow
we're
people
talking
to
about.
be informed. At the end of the day, you cannot. I'm going to assume everyone here as an adult. I feel we're not all exposed to a certain level. We're still learning. We're still continuing, but we have come to a place where we can make certain decisions with a sound mind. A 5-year-old is not able to decide whether they want to have
Why
sex
are we even
or not.
debating?
Yeah,
I
where was
know
that
I was
even?
in certain entanglements at 16, and I wasn't. I felt like I knew a lot, but really, at that looking back now, I knew absolutely nothing. You understand? So even now, at the age I'm at, I will be 30. And I'll say, yeah, I didn't know shit. Like I'm still learning. But at 18, you have reached a level. It's assumed that you have reached a certain level of sound mind, so you're able to make consenting
decision for your future.
And that's why they say, not pedophiles, because pedophiles are older people, and this will bring us to a conversation
We
of
should
power
also add
and a
rapists to
dynamic.
it, since
You
we're throwing
understand?
it.
We need a whole separate episode for because
Yeah.
I'm ready to go off.
Pedophiles,
But that's a
rapists,
different
those are sexual crimes, not orientations.
But with
Those are sexual crimes, not
with
orientations.
pedophilia, it is important to note that there's a power dynamic in that sort of thing. So it's a 30-year-old man with a 5-year-old girl.
Or a
30-year-old man
12-year-old.
with a 12-year-old.
No,
There's
religion,
a power
even-
conversation that needs to be
Even
had.
culture. They would sell girls. Families would give their girls to chiefs.
But
You know, a
it's not
60-year-old and a girl is 12.
Yeah.
Children
So
can
okay,
make
that is a
sound-
heterosexual relationship, but do you support it? So then how can you attempt to
But if
justify
I
it
am
just
an
because the
adult
roles are
and
being
we are
reversed?
dating, what's your business?
Yes, so it's really, if you don't agree, it's okay.
So-
You're entitled to your opinion, but don't affect someone's way of life.
I also want to
Don't mistreat someone
I want
because
to bring
of
a
that.
big point. When I was in high school, I found this very wrong. And even the older I got, I think about it, how wrong it was. We would have, should I say, at that time, even up to now, certain big personalities, performers, come to school, perform, entertain the crowd, and what? And then the next thing you know, they're like they're calling and texting girls in your year. You guys are like
Asking
16.
for your
A
number.
whole 20-year-old musician.
I will not name
20,
drop.
25-year-old. I will not name drop. A whole 20, 25-year-old.
No, two actually.
And you're talking to 16-year-olds. He even still has hits on the radio. And I'm just like, this guy, I like his music, but
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So we should look at it as a larger picture and differentiate between what a sexual orientation is and what a sex crime is.
Now let me take you guys a bit back. One of those questions was, what's our view in terms of religion?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so living alone, now our opinion.
Yes.
Moving to religion, what
Yes.
do you guys think?
I'm not a practicing.
Okay, I believe in God. I am not what you traditionally call a practicing Christian, but I talk to God about everything because I feel like people put constructs
On
to
who God
religion,
is, yeah.
and I believe there is a God. It's okay if you don't. We all have our different. I believe there is a God, but I believe there's a lot of constructs to what we're supposed to do and how we should talk to God. I talk to God, especially. I talk to him about all aspects of my life in my 20s. Every aspect of it I talk to him.
But the Bible is
I'm not even say I don't read the Bible, and also because I have issues with the Bible.
Yeah.
It's a very old book written by certain
By
people
people
long time ago.
who had an
And there's
agenda.
a whole religion.
Who
There's a
had an
whole-
agenda?
But I
Religion
believe
as
in
a
God.
construct.
Yes.
Religion as a construct was made by men, made by people who have agendas.
Exactly. Thank you. Please underline what he
So
said.
there's a difference between religion and faith. Someone could have faith in God but not be religious.
That's true. That's true.
Because there's
And
a
I feel
clear difference.
But okay. Let me also
Yeah, but
Yes.
they're not
Let me add on
religious.
that. I still feel, even if I'm not actively practicing as a Christian, even if I'm not actively practicing as a Christian, I do understand that there was there's that scripture, and people say, no, but because you don't overread the Bible, you don't know what you're saying. God is love, right? And then there's also the other scripture of God did not ask us to judge.
True.
And I think it's important for us to put those two things into perspective when we're talking about
Even if you
sexuality.
are, no matter what form of
Even if
Christianity
you are deep in the
exactly.
God is love. When the Bible says there shouldn't be gay people, the Bible says it's unnatural. You think you're saying it in jest, but there's someone who might be in your direct circle who's going through this, and you're being harmful. And that's
Don't
why
be
I
toxic.
say, yeah, there's freedom of speech, but let our freedom of speech be monitored in the way it might affect someone. Yeah? I talk a lot, and I don't want anyone to talk about my freedom, but I'm very mindful of who I might hurt when I speak. And I think that's important for Christians to adopt.
There's also that
Be
thing.
mindful of who you're going to hurt. You have your biases. Yes, you have your African perspectives. Yes, you have your religious perspectives. But sometimes you can keep quiet. It's fine. It's okay.
Yeah, they even say that a right is a right as long as it does not infringe on the rights of another person. You understand? You cannot say what you say is true just simply and call me false because you don't believe in it. So I think at the end of the day it should be, let us respect each other. Let us respect the fact that we all have opinions and preferences.
Yes.
And regardless of whether you agree with mine or not, it should not affect the way I am treated
Yes.
and the
And
way
how
we
I'm
interact
perceived
as people
and
in
the
any
opportunities
community.
that I
Unless you have done something criminal. That's
Yes.
the only
And
way.
when it becomes
Even goes back is the same
because
thing.
if
Unless
I
it's criminal.
If I'm lesbian, how does it affect you? Directly.
Bikukwacha kuwa.
Or for me,
What's your issue?
Yeah. And I think
Why does it hurt you so
There
much?
you have it. Let's come back to the whole question was if it's natural, it's not natural. So you're not gonna-
is it natural?
It's natural.
You guys have said it's natural, we say it's
That's true. That's right.
You are demarcating now.
No, I don't. Okay,
some of us are
can we end on
I feel like you are attracted to. I feel like you are attracted to.
Okay, what do you agree with? What do you agree with that we have said? We have said it's natural.
I agree.
Where do you agree and disagree?
I want us to being mindful of what I said. Okay, I'm trying not to pause, but there might be someone who is going through the search of their sexuality. So for us to come to a conclusion that it's unnatural could be problematic to their process. So I would like us to end on a let's disagree let's agree to disagree, or let's go and inform ourselves.
And to the person watching this, you're attracted to what you're attracted to. It's normal as long as you're all
love who
consenting
you want to love.
adults.
Love you want to love.
Yeah.
Love is
And
love,
as long as it's a
regardless of
human being.
gender, who.
That other
An adult human being. Period.
Yes, it also comes down to society. Like me as me, I have a couple of gay friends. They do what they do. I do what I do.
Yes.
But then just I don't interact.
It's okay,
I don't
yeah.
interact with them a lot.
Yes.
But just the other week I was at a certain place in Malawi.
Yes.
I go and smoke my shisha and everything. Take a few drinks. So I sit down and then because I'm waiting for my friend, I come to notice two gay men because of the way they're acting and I knew they were gay.
Yes.
It usually never bothers me.
Yes.
But then I found myself staring, and at the end of the day I asked myself, why was I staring? And then I realized it's not something that's in
You're
like
used to
everyday
see-
life.
Society has
Yes.
taught us that it's bad.
No, but we just try and dance to the norm.
It's like if the first time you see someone kissing, you stare.
Yes.
You
Kissing
stare.
in public.
Kissing in
Yes,
public,
yes.
you stare. So
Yes.
I saw two gay men being touchy with each other. I'm like, what's happening here?
But I think, and that's why it's important for us to have conversations like
About
this,
it and discuss
because
it,
we
yeah.
open up our minds to the idea, and then slowly, eventually, when you see gay men, you're like, oh, cool.
It's something you get to know. Yeah, it's something you grow used to.
Let's come back to raising our kids. I want to mold my kid to become something like
Yes.
me. If it fails, well and well. So if I choose to...
You know what you sound like? You sound like our parents when they want to make us lawyers and accountants.
No, yeah, but if it fails...
Yeah, the only two professions: lawyer, doctor,
Yeah,
failure.
they can't.
Engineer.
They
No,
can't.
lawyer, doctor, failure. The rest are debatable. Lawyer, doctor, failure.
Yeah, you can. They can choose to do that, but if it fails, you take your own path later in life when you're older to make your
Yes,
decisions.
yes.
But you respect that.
Yeah, I respect that.
But should we
if me as a
condition them to be
parent,
straight?
I want my son to be a he.
Yeah, we can't.
Until he's 18. if he comes out and if later maybe at 16 he comes out and I'll produce a conducive environment for him to come out and say maybe he's not.
Let me
that's all we
let me give you an example.
Yeah, we can't tell you how to raise your child. Yeah, that's right.
No, let me give you an example. So if
Just have a conclusion.
wait, let me just say one thing. I don't think we've talked about trans, but if I raised a child biologically born male and they decide, I don't know, they've known for how long, whether 2, 15, 16, 18, that they were meant to be a woman, they want to transform, they want to change their gender and whatnot, I'm not going to pay for that surgery. I'm saying that outright. As your parent, I'm giving you your basic needs: food, water, education. What I will support, because that's something you want to do, and I will tell you, like, yo, that is on you.
So you can't.
I will support you. I'll be there for you.
I want to raise my kid like this, so let me raise me. Let me
and
raise
you're
him like
entitled to, because it's your child.
It's my child. So the problem that I see with the gay community, they really try to influence other people. They go into schools now. It's about money these days.
Influence, because think about the minority. You know, the minority.
Rodney, you have to accept the fact.
Let me tell you.
Okay, let's make a point.
These days, if you look closely and notice, gay people are very rich. Do you know why?
I've never seen a gay beggar.
You know why?
I don't.
Because people in the gay community are
If they were
influencing
paying
other
for to be
people
gay, they would be
and
rich.
paying them.
I've never
to
seen a
be
gay beggar. I've never
Do you know that?
some money.
People are being
I don't know.
Do you wear your
Now.
sexuality on your face, please?
Now,
Well, I feel
let
like
me-
this is wrong because for a long period of time, there's a thing, Chisakate, I hope I said it properly. It has gone to schools for a long time to make women wives, right?
True.
So why don't we have a problem with that?
No.
But then gays
If
look
the idea of
What is that?
sex of
It's
comprehensive
another Gerica thing.
the idea
Go to
of
schools,
comprehensive
you
sexual
two-week program. I
education
even went for
is
it.
to make sure that the children who are in schools who are questioning their
Morals.
sexuality as heterosexuals are able to have the wording and you know, hell, they're safe. You understand? If I go, I'm a feminist. I identify as a feminist. If I go to schools and I talk to young girls and I say, no, it's okay for you to not want to be a wife.
It's okay.
It's okay because it's what you're used to. You get, that's why it's okay. It's okay for you not to want certain things. It's okay for you to rebel against patriarchal structures. I am affirming them that they are not abnormal. And that's what comprehensive sexual education.
We have a lot of
No,
work.
but you see, our education system does not teach people that it's okay not to be straight.
No,
we cannot completely cast it.
He says who is the head of the house, who is the mother,
We can-
who's supposed to cook for you.
It's okay. It's
We cannot completely castigate.
That no, it's not fine. It's not
What?
okay if you
Why?
don't want
Okay,
to be
let me.
like this.
Yeah.
It's okay if you don't.
While I agree.
And telling them, oh,
Yeah.
become gay.
Yeah. While I agree, it is not alright.
People who have come.
Well, no. While I agree, it's not right for you to force someone into it.
Yes.
I do not believe that you should still come out on the other side and say, no, there should not be any sort of, don't tell our children that there's a possibility that they could be gay.
Yeah.
We don't want. And that's what African tradition has taught us to do. Anything that is not straight is evil, is satanic, is demonic, all those.
They have to pray for you.
They have to pray for you. You know, reform churches where a parent will find out that their child might be, and they send you to a camp or a church for a pastor to pray over you and rebuke the demon out of you is bullshit. I'm sorry, it's bullshit.
And that's on period, bye guys.
Let someone determine what they want. It should not be forced. So I agree with you. It's wrong for agents and all that, but it should not be.